Everything look good? Cool. Cool. We looking good. How's everybody doing? Brad, what's up? Gold Star, what's going on? Welcome. Friday Night Live Stream. Tim here to host on Volatility Trading. What is up? Man, you know what? I'm going to need a beer for this. Shock top, anybody? AN, what's up, man? How are we doing? You know, this whole diet thing is not something that I like to do. And yeah, eating after a certain point is just a pain in the butt. Shin, what's up, man? How we doing? By the way, cheers to everybody who's drinking with me tonight. So you guys know I like to take a look at the SPY when we start things off. Did well today. A little choppy at the beginning, made it look like it might fall over a little bit, and got bought up and pretty much went out into the open or into the close. Sorry, hold on, give me one sec. Something was not working over here. There we go. Okay. All right. Tim Sykes. Hey, the broccoli's good, man. I like broccoli. I actually really enjoy broccoli. I also enjoy yogurt, believe it or not. I get these guys, these 000. It's different kinds. Got vanilla, mixed berry, and strawberry. Sam's Club special, you know. Up on COVID news? Yeah, I really don't follow the news. Oh, I gotta get rid of that. I always forget about this guy. David, what's up, man? I just saw you there. So our one trade today. I heard that it decided to make me look silly. Basically bottom ticked it. I'll give you guys the rundown on what I was looking at, right? We had this big move at the open, and then we had this little resistance area where it tried to hit resistance a bunch of times, kept making higher lows, and made a real nice run. And I really wanted to get in on this move, and I wasn't feeling the move. There was a little bit of a spread, and the way it was moving, if you look at the daily chart here, it's at all-time highs, which is always like, yeah, where's it going to go kind of thing. And so when it got to where it was, I said, this thing's going to go hit 150. It was so close. It's a big number. It had already squeezed. I mean, look at the squeeze started here at 144. It went, what, almost 5 points. It got all the way up here to 149. I was like, it's going to go touch 150. Sure enough, it got rejected. Tried again a couple times here, and I was like, okay, look, it's making higher lows, just like it did down here. This thing's going to go touch 150. And I really thought we were going to have one of those instances where it decided to fake out, break out. Like it was going to go through this 149. It was going to try to go up to 150, maybe even pop through a little bit, and then it was going to fail. That was what I thought, and that was kind of what we were waiting for. And it started to make that, like, ascending triangle. I mean, if you really look at it, it kept trying to test that same high, and then it tried to make like it was forming an ascending triangle. You can see it was making higher lows over and over again. So I really thought this thing was going to go, and then as you can see, it broke trend, and it gave us no chance to even get short here if we wanted to. This thing just absolutely dumped. I mean, I was watching it, it just went bloop, and I was like, oh. So then I was like, you know what? I'm really bored. This is the only trade that I've really been paying attention to. I've looked at a bunch of others, just nothing really felt fast to me today. And we were coming down, and I decided, or well, let me zoom in a little bit and show you exactly what I was looking at here. So we had this big intense move down right to that previous resistance, right? So I don't think I had this line drawn, but I was looking at it, right? I knew it was right there. It bounces right off of it, tries to come up, and then gets just shoved down to that same spot, but gets stuffed again, right? It actually was 2 cents higher. Starts to come up again, and I said, okay. Or actually, it went down lower right after the end of that candle started, and it started this candle. It went down to the low of this candle, 144, and started to bounce. And I said, okay, that's the fake out breakout. We're going to at least try to get back up to VWAP, and we're going to make this move, right? I was looking for this move. I actually put my take profit order out right below this area here. because I was like, okay, that's the bottom of the move up here. We'll probably bounce right up to that before it decides if it wants to try to go lower. Looking for that sloppy seconds, the bouncy ball, which is kind of what it still looks like, right? But I was a little bit early. I thought this was going to be the bounce here because it failed here, but also kept getting bought up in that same area. But unfortunately, it wanted to try to go a little bit lower before doing that. And then I just stopped watching at this point. I haven't been trading after 11 o'clock. And I mean, look at this thing. Just a beast the rest of the day. I don't think anybody was expecting this. I think a lot of this was shorts getting trapped in here, right? And then as it starts to move up, they have to start covering. Possibly shorts looking to, restart positions or start positions to begin with, getting trapped, and then everyone trapping shorts in here and then going again. And it's just, this thing has been a beast. Looking at the daily, this thing came from all the way down here. Look at this huge gap up and then another gap up, and just then to close at the top of the candle. Just absolutely insane what this stock's doing. So, but, I should have just sat on my hands. This wasn't really my edge, my trade, but I was still trading an intense move. I was looking for an intense move to reverse, which it did. I was just a little early. So, and in my mind, I said, if I'm going to take this trade, I'm going to be right or right out. I wasn't about to let this go all the way down here and try to test that as support. Like, after this point, after it tried to use this as support, I didn't really there's nothing in between here to stop it. So the fact that it stopped where it did, that's a complete guess that it's going to stop there. The next support area was all the way down here at 141. I wasn't about to let it go that far against me just to see if it was going to do all of this. So yeah, no, I wasn't going to do the 112 on this, because to me, when I got into this trade, I said either I'm right or I'm right out. And I was looking for, actually way more than 2-1 on this trade, right? I actually lost or got some slippage on this trade because my order was at 140. It was right below. It was 143.99, and I got filled at 140 or 140. Yeah, and I got filled at 143.76. So that arrow actually looks worse than it should have been up a little bit, but is what it is. I was using, like I said, I was using smaller size because it was a trade I don't normally take. So I recognized that to begin with. But at the same time, I still could have made some decent money if it would have, people, might be like, decent money, you ain't making shit. I meant decent percentage of what I'm looking for on a daily basis if this would have worked out, right? I'm only risking this little bit looking to make this. I'm pretty sure it was like 2.5, or I think it was closer to 3-1 if it would have worked. So, is what it is, right? It didn't work. Yep, beer money. That's all I was looking for. Speaking of beer. So what's everybody up to? Really don't have anything specific to talk about. We can go check out check this guy out. I know we like to take a look at that. We're back on the uppity up a little bit after this week. We had a good week. Where did we started the week here? Yeah, we actually kind of ended up almost where the week started after that first day. Let me take a look at the trades throughout the week. All right, because of that PDD trade. That pooper trade on PDD. The one that we were just early. And snap. Oh, that was last week. That was Friday. Yeah, so 9. So we had a good day here on the 9th, right? We actually made our quota. And then on the 10th, we had one trade on BA, which was a good trade. It was over 10, which is nice. And then we had that max loss loser on PDD. But on that same day, we made half of that back on PDD. And then we had another winner on FTCH. We actually only ended up down about 0.33Q that day. So that was pretty good, which basically washed this out. And then yesterday we had the one trade on INO, and then today the one trade on PDD, which almost kind of wash each other out, but not really. It was about half of that one. So pretty much the bulk of our money was made from Monday, and then we were kind of in maintain mode. And it's been that kind of week. I don't know. For me, it's been that kind of week. I feel like it hasn't been the best of weeks for finding trades that kind of fit my edge, but going back if you guys remember from previous, yeah, Snap brings me nightmares. Yeah, Snap is not a good one. But a lot of, I'm pretty sure if we go back, it was like 3 or 4 trades that we took that were not really our edge. And, or actually, I'm pretty sure that was the last go around, wasn't it? Let's go take a look. Again, if you guys have any questions while we're just chilling here, let me know. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, so JMIA, this was one of them. This is when I, or wait, no, I went short there. Hold on, let me see what this trade was. What was I doing here? Oh, it looks like I was trying to play the confirmation, and then I thought there was a couple trades in here that were not according to plan. FSLY. I think I want to say this was one of them. Just where I just took like a YOLO long type play. Yeah, where I was trying to buy the bounce. I know there was like 2, 3, maybe 4 trades in these 100. I'm at 99 trades so far. And I know there was like 3 or 4 that I was very unhappy with that brought my P&L down quite a bit as well as my win percentage because they weren't my edge. I can't seem to just stick to the same thing for a long period of time, but I'm getting there. Yeah. I mean, PDD long today was basically a YOLO as well, so but win percentage is actually still pretty low. I'm not actually very happy with it at the moment. But if you go look at all the losses, you know, everyone's like max loss, you shouldn't be hitting max loss all that time. But if we look at all the losers, status loss. So if we look at all the losers that we've taken over these 99 trades, let's see how many actually were max loss. We got 1, 2. I remember this one was. It just gave us a good fill. 3. I guess this one's pretty close. 4. We'll count that. And then I wouldn't really consider this one. That one's pretty close though. So what was it? 4? 1. Yeah, 2, 3, 4. So out of 31 trades that were losers, we only had 4 that were max loss. So I always like to bring this up just to show people the misconception that most people have about every loss being a max loss. When in reality, that's just not the case. I mean, look at this. 850. Our max loss is 40. So 850, 276, 222, 4, 190, 280, 390. Like, look at all these ones under $10. Just because they don't have to always, like, if you lose, it doesn't have to be a max loss. Sometimes there's going to be charts. Like, let's take a look at one of them. Like, let's take a look at JKS. So here on, speaking of, this is JKS. But you can see we got an entry here, an entry, we got to add at the top, and then it just didn't come down enough for us to get out, and it went high of day. But because of the way we scaled into it, the way that we approached the trade, the way that we gave ourselves enough room to play the trade, it doesn't mean we have to get to max loss every single trade. There's going to be times where if this would have worked, we would have made, $15, $20, but we ended up losing $20, and that's okay because that's part of the strategy. That's going to happen. And I really do think just after 100 trades, even though they weren't all exactly, to plan, that we can improve this win percentage. I just feel like with the election, with everything going on, it's been a little weird. I know. Thomas, welcome. Thomas can actually be one to attest. He's kind of felt the same way where there's been a lot of sitting on our hands, kind of waiting for that fast to happen. And we have people like David, we have people like Brian, they come in and just make us look like we're just scared to trade. But the difference between someone like me and David and Brian at this current moment is they have enough size, and this is going to sound bad because I always say it doesn't, size is relevant. But when you start with an entry that is big enough to where you can actually scale out of a position, or it's enough, like if I added a zero to all of my trades and a single winner was $110, $100, $24, $100, $100, that would be so different than it being $10, right? Because if you're making $100 per trade instead of 10, commissions completely are no big deal. So if I really wanted to, I essentially, if I can prove that this strategy works, could do the exact same thing over and over and over again. If I can be consistent and keep doing this over the course of, say, 500 trades, 1,000 trades, and it's proven that I can get that win percentage to, say, like 75%, and we're just the equity curve is just slowly going up, I could just add a zero. Right? That is where it doesn't matter. But when it comes to when you're in a really good trade, like I'm trying to think of one that I had nailed. I think Tesla actually nailed ones that are going to fade all day for the most part. So this is not one. This is one I actually had a good cover. But I hit the top on Tesla, right? Now say this thing wanted to fade all the way down and test this previous resistance before going higher. Like say this part up here didn't exist. Say it just started to consolidate sideways and then went down and tested this area right here. When you have such small size, like look at how many shares. I made $10 on 5 shares of Tesla, right? No matter what price the stock is, I can make the same amount just based off of the range and how much I'm looking to get out of the move. If I think 50% of the move is a certain amount, then I adjust my share size accordingly. It just goes, but basically what I'm saying is all I had to do is add a zero, right? And this was 50 shares and this would be $100. But if I had 50 shares of Tesla, you could then scale out of Tesla. You could take half and then half and then half, or half and then half and then a whole, like the rest of it. Like you can do that because then it makes sense. But it's really hard to take half of 5 shares. You can't, well, first off, you can't. But say you take off 3 shares, then you're left with 2. That thing has to move a lot in order for it to really make it worth it. See what I'm saying? So it's not that I don't want to, and it really is all relative. But when you are at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, like I am now, trying to get consistent, I'm basically paper trading right now. Like that's basically what I'm doing. And I've openly admitted that for a while now. But that's not the point. The point is I need to get to the point where I'm consistent, and I'm just not there yet, right? Trades like today, I keep telling myself I want to just take 100 trades in a row where I do the same thing 100 trades in a row. And there's days like today where I just get so bored and impatient that I want to trade that I end up making a trade that I shouldn't have, right? The theory was fine. The trade was fine. The way that I executed it was fine, but it wasn't my plan. And I'm mad at that. And those 3 or 4 trades previously were also, which actually ended up being bigger losses, they also do not help the situation, right? Because now it affects your P&L, now it affects your mindset. Now you're starting to wonder why you can't stop doing it. So there's always going to be that in the back of your head, and that's what I'm working on. Am I ready to add a 0 to your max loss? No. There's always going to be something weird going on in the markets. Just got to adapt as best you can in the moment and trade. Well, there's a difference because this is actually kind of the first time since I've started where I feel like there's been moves that are extended, but they're not getting extended fast. Like they're just grinding. They're not going floop. Like that's what I want. I want the floop. I want that fast move because basically what we're trading is price action. And what is price action? Price action is human emotions. When you get that FOMO move up, that's a bunch of humans saying, holy crap, I don't want to miss this. Let's go, right? It's basically people trying to momentum trade. Well, in reverse, eventually it's going to hit a top. And then that's where I come into play, playing the human emotions that they realize, okay, it's the top. Let's, take our profits. Short sellers start piling in. And then that's usually when you get that quick move back down. That just hasn't been happening. It's just been grinding up. So when you're grinding up and up and up, now it's not a question of finding that top. It's more of you just have to kind of almost play technical patterns on extended moves looking for the backside. Like that's kind of how I feel right now. It's been really hard to kind of predict these front side moves because they're not really happening like I'm used to. That's essentially what I was getting at. Size does matter. I can't feel my hands. Yeah, I know. You're sitting on them quite a bit today. So when I do scale up, I don't plan to add a zero. I plan to double everything. So let me pull up a montage. Give me one sec. While I'm doing that, hit that like button. Maybe we can get some more people in here. I don't even know how many people are in here. I didn't even look. Oh, 19. Cool. Let's get 19 likes, eh? Maybe we'll do an ISW giveaway again tonight. What do you guys think? Get somebody else in the room. Jag, if you're in here, man, let us know. It'd be nice to hear from you. Let everyone know how you enjoyed your week. He was in there all week. Montage. Brad was the winner the week prior. I'm sure he can attest. All right. So I know you guys can't really see this too well. I wonder if I go like this and then I do this. Let's see if this works. Oh, baby. Look at that. That actually worked. Speaking of which, tomorrow and Sunday I plan on putting together a DOS video, so keep a lookout. 100. Oh, there we go. All right, so now you can see my hot buttons a little better on this smaller screen. Let's give it a little bigger. That was a little too big. Oh no, don't delete anything. There we go, that works. Now I'm not changing nothing. That's too much work, Ann. I'll catch up with the rest of the chat, by the way. So what I'm getting at is when I hit 10, like if I'm looking for 10 cents of a move, right? 100 shares would give me $10. If I'm looking for 25 cents of a move, 40 shares would give me $10. If I'm looking for 50 cents on a move, 20 shares will give me $10. If I'm looking for 75 cents, 14 shares will give me $10. $1, 10 shares, $2, 5 shares, right? So that's what I hit on Tesla. So Tesla gave me a $2 pullback, gave me my $10. So when we look at something like PDD, so let's say near the top we got like 148.50, and we're looking at half the move is around 146.50. That's $2, right? So I would hit my $2 button. I would get short. I would hit this cover 100% at $10, and it would put a take profit order out at $2 below my average, and that's what I would be looking for. So that's essentially what I would do is I would go from looking for $10 to $20. So I would basically just double that. So all my shares would go from 100 to 200, from 40 to 80, from 20 to 40, and you get the idea. So that's how I'm going to scale up. I'm just going to double. I don't know how long I'll double for, because I do in my journal, I've written this down. I do plan to double the first time and the second time. But after that, I'm not sure if I'm going to double or if I'm going to like start cutting it like 50%. Because if you go from 100 to 200, and then you double again, that's 200 to 400. You're going from looking for from 10 to 20, and then from 20 to 40. But then you're going from 40 to 80, and I'd rather go from like 40 to 60, if that makes sense, instead of just jumping progressively double, double, double. But again, as my confidence builds, if it's working over time, so if each time I say trade 200 trades at one level. I'm clearly making money. Bump it up. 200 trades again. Bump it up if we're making money. If something's not working, then, we can figure it out. But the whole point of this is to come up with a system that will work, obviously, no matter how many shares you're trading. All right, let me catch up on the chat real quick. It's whether your account size can handle the amount of risk, and you will your emotions all to take the loss and trade the next one without emotions. Well, that's the other thing too, is that's another reason I actually like having hotkeys or hot buttons, is because you essentially don't really have to look at the share size or the P&L, right? If I'm looking for 10 cents on the chart, I hit the 10-cent button, I get short, and then I put in my cover amount. That's that. The only time I have to worry is if it starts going against me, then I hit the stop max button just to make sure that, where we're at, and gives me an idea of where we can add up to, and we go from there. So it's really nice because you don't have to know what your P&L is. The only reason you would know what your P&L is when you put that cover order out, and you just know where you have to get, or the price has to go for you to get that price, or for you to get that profit. IB has fractional shares feature. You can actually sell 2.5 shares. Is that on active trading, or is that with their free, like IBKR Lite? I think that's more geared towards like the swing trading and stuff. I don't think that's for day trading. Actually, I'm almost positive it's not. CCL was like that extended slow-mo. Let's take a look. Right. Yeah. I mean, this is actually a perfect example of kind of what we've been dealing with for the most part. Like, look at this just grind, right? And I don't use the 9 for anything other than visual confirmation. If you take this 9 off, like, actually, let's take it off for a sec. And what I'm looking for before I take it off, look at how you can tell this grinded the 9, right? But if you didn't have this on here, and this is the only reason I have it on here, is because now look at how extended it looks compared to where it was trading versus VWAP, right? You would think, okay, man, this thing's really extended away from VWAP. The odds are we're going to come back. And this is why I don't like grinders, because you don't get that human emotion knee-jerk reaction to sell, because it's just grinding, right? It's not doing anything super fast, and it's not getting those human emotions intact from all the traders, right? We're just kind of going slow, going higher, and then we just consolidate. And it's like, okay, well, these traders are given, look at this. This is a 20-minute consolidation. They're given all this time to figure out if they want to stay in or not. And it never really breaks down, so they all stay in, and it creates a little bit more of a squeeze. And really, this was the only time it kind of squeezed. So let's add the 9 back just to see what it looks like. I mean, even up there, I mean, you can see it doesn't really get that extended. I mean, on this candle is about as far as it got, but that's kind of what I use that for. But if we look at something like PDD, I bet this one looks a little bit more extended. Yeah, like look at how far away it gets from the 9. And it's a good indication that it's pretty extended. Now, can it keep going? Yeah, of course it can. I've seen them continue and go crazy. What was the one that went crazy today? What was that low floater? Not SRK. What was that one? It's there. It was a darker blue, but you can see it here now. What was that mover today? It was the one that went absolutely nuts. Was it G-Tech? Yeah, there it is. So, I mean, look at this one, right? I mean, look how crazy that looks. I mean, these are like clockwork. I mean, you see these huge moves. Now, granted, you never know when they're actually going to stop, but that's where trade management, risk management, that's where all of those things come into play. That's where trying to play the jiggle comes into play. I mean, granted, this one looks like it had a ton of pullbacks where it tried to get shoved down and it just didn't. So this was probably a tough trade. And this is where someone like David and Brian, if they would trade something like this, they would shine because it's okay that it does that, right? If they started it down here, it's okay that it does this, right? Because you can, hit it again when it looks like it looks like it jiggled here. And then when it makes that one last little run, say it tried to go through 750 and failed, and say they get that last add up here, this thing comes down, their average is sitting somewhere in here, and they're making some money. So it's really all relative to your strategy, but obviously looking at a chart, it's all hindsight trading anyway. So stay disciplined and keep building and let the market come to you. And the account is big enough you can throw some lotto tickets. Yeah, no, I know. That's what I keep telling myself. Do you mind sharing your script for the take profit that you have? The $10 one is fine. Yeah, all you do is change the all you do, just to show you, is the numbers in here, which I'm just going to share this part of it because that first part you don't need. So in the part, you'll see share equals 10. Whatever you want the amount to be, you just change that. I don't know if that works in here. Let's see. Are we back? Are we back? I don't know. I must have hit. Is there a hotkey to stop the stream? Interesting. Sorry, guys. I looked over and it said I wasn't streaming anymore. That was weird. I don't know what that was all about. My bad. I think I know what the problem was, though. You guys not all of you hit the like button. So if you don't hit the like button, I guess it puts a timer on the stream and it just disconnects automatically. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, ask us some questions, because I really don't have too much else to talk about. Ask away, guys. I'm just gonna sit here and drink, conversate with you guys. What do you guys got going on for the weekend? I'm super excited to sleep in tomorrow. Thanks for letting me know, guys, though. Appreciate the update that wasn't working. If we can get to 20 likes, we'll do an ISW giveaway. I wonder where Brian is. Let's message Brian real quick. I have been sleeping in a lot, eh? Yeah, that day where I woke up at 9:31. Yeah, I was actually awake at 8:30, and I just fell back asleep. I actually got up, went to the bathroom, came back, started playing on my phone, laying in bed. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to close my eyes for a couple minutes. And then next thing you know, somehow I woke up at 9:31. You ever fall asleep and you're like, wait, when you wake up, you're like, was I just out for like a minute or was I out for like 3 hours? That was one of those moments. Might as well. What are you doing? Sleeping in? God, I love Shock Top. That's called alcoholic, dude. I have like one or two. I only drink for the Friday night live streams. I am not. I am not a drinker, like by any means. That's why I end up getting a little tipsy after like two or three. Just turning my heated blanket down. Swim, CrossFit, shooting, chill out fun for 48 hours. Hopefully the CrossFit is by yourself. Restrictions again. Yo, did you guys? Let me ask you guys a question that has nothing to do with trading and has something a lot to do with things that I don't talk about. And I'm more so asking for your opinion. And now that I know someone else is watching, he might not be a fan of this, but what do you guys think about the president? Do you think that he's going to remain in office? Because I was doing some research this afternoon, and it's a very high likely there's a very high chance. I was trying to use the word likely for some reason. There's likely a high probability that he is going to remain the president even after everything that's gone on. Thomas apparently knows it as well. Have I found a way to add at the top and not increase risk? Well, yeah, if I don't run straight to my stop loss. That again, I took 100 trades, right? That happened twice. So 2 out of 100, well 2 out of 99. I won't keep saying 100, but 2 out of 99 trades that happened. And of course it happened like back to back, so it really got into my head. And until it keeps happening, I'm just going to let it go. But basically, for anyone that's wondering, let me get rid of. So, say I entered this trade here, and I was looking for half the move, which was 25 cents. So that would mean, oops. So that would mean that I need, or that would mean to make 25 cents, that would give me 10 bucks. But if it goes up $1, that would be my max loss of 40, right? So $1 from here would be right here. And look at what it did, right? It basically went straight up almost to that point. So what that does is it means my absolute max loss in dollar amount is right there. So if this comes up and tries again and gets anywhere near that line, it's almost impossible for me to add to my position because I can't add to my position and keep my stop above high of day. And that's what I want to do. Because how many times do you see candles like this one where it tries to go high of day, doesn't quite get there, or it goes to high of day, gets rejected, doesn't get there, goes to high day, possibly goes like right through a little bit and does, fake out, breakout type thing again, and then does all of this, right? And then fades the rest of the day. So the closer it gets to my overall max loss, it makes it hard to add to my position to bring, because if I could add, say here, that would bring my average to here, right? It's going to bring it up to half of the two. It's going to bring it right in the middle. So now when this thing comes down, I can make money. But in reality, when those 2 times that I ran into this issue, I couldn't really add because if I added, it was going to bring my stop loss down below high of day. And I basically couldn't, when I hit the add button, I had to be absolutely right. I had to hit it as it's coming down, and it has to keep going down and never come back to that area because essentially wherever I add is going to be where my max loss is. It's just how it's going to work because I'm bringing, and in reality, if say my max loss was right at high of day, like that one trade, was it Snap? Yeah, it was Snap, where it just missed it by a penny. It missed it by a penny and came all the way back down to break even. It gave me a chance to get up break even twice, but that's a whole different story. But what would happen is when I hit the add button, if I hit it, say down here, where, well, I already have the line there, my stop loss would actually be below where I added. Right? I think it would be because my size would be big enough. My average would be here. It would actually bring, I'm wondering if that would actually trigger. Well, I guess it can't be, right? I guess it can't be. It would bring it down about half, I guess, probably, it would be half of about wherever you hit it, it's going to be half of where it came from, right? Because it's cutting it in half. Yeah, that would make sense. Okay. Math this late, guys. Math. It's not good for me. All right. Anyways, no, Thomas, I have not. I mean, you can't add at the top without increasing your risk, right? So unless you stay under that number, like I was saying, unless you stay under that max loss and you have room to that max loss, you're just not ever going to get to that point. It's just not possible, unfortunately. No, not sleeping in, never sleep in. It's freaking happy hour. Intense trading week, intense political week. Now it's chill time with my girlfriend. Attaboy. Definitely got restrictions here in LA. Swim in outdoor 50-meter pool with restriction CrossFit and field with weighted vest by myself. Nice. So you're experienced. You're an experienced CrossFitter. I feel the same way about the 2 because it's only 2 out of 100. Yeah, I know you were looking for a fix. I was more so looking for a fix in the future. For right now, I'm not changing anything. I currently like what's happening right now, even with the market the way that it is. But what I was saying in the future is, say we get the same entry, looking for the same take profit, and say it makes this run. Say my max loss is still at 71. Entry right there. Here's the top. So say my max loss is right here. Well, in the future, when I'm so comfortable at just doing this over and over and over again, and I know exactly where my max loss is, and it makes this run, I know that if it's trying to stop here and I can get an ad here, but it's going to bring my max loss down, I would much rather be able to say, okay, instead of $40, it's going to be $45, or instead of $40, it's going to be $50. Being able to take that little bit of additional risk for this specific trade, because this is a rarity that it does what it just did, then I can do it. But again, that's in the future once I feel like I'm 100% consistent all the time. Now, if it were to run straight to my max loss, I'm not going to say, oh, well, this is running straight up, I'm going to move my max loss. No, that's not how it works. The max loss is there for a reason. If you were early, you're early. You need to accept that and get out, right? And then you can reevaluate and see if you want to get back in. But if it does exactly this and it stops, comes down, tries to go back up again, and starts getting rejected, I would want to add, probably on this candle, maybe even like somewhere down here, once I realize that that's a fake out, then put my stop loss at high day. You know what? Let's do the math real quick. Pull out the calculator. So if we're looking for 25 cents and our first average, or our first, so what is 25 cents? That's 40 shares, right? Yeah, 40 shares. All right. So 40 times, or yeah, so 40, or I guess we need to figure out our average first, right? So 671, and say we got to add at 730. Divide by 2. So our average is right at 7. So now high of day was 756. So it's 56 cents on now 80 shares. I did that wrong. That's our total amount what am I doing? Oh, I'm looking for 57. So it's 80 times 0.57. There we go. So instead of $40, it would be $45.60. So you're adding that little bit of extra risk to get your ad, giving you a higher probability trade, and you're still risking off high of day. So if it gets back to high of day, it's a bad trade, and you lose just a little bit more than max loss. That's my solution. And I think it's a great solution, actually, because you're not adding that much more risk, but you're giving yourself a chance to trade as you normally would. And you just happen to be pretty early on that first trade. But by getting that ad, you're allowing yourself to get a much better average. So that would be my solution in the future after I know that I can confidently repeat the process over and over again. And I really think that, I mean, it's a great solution on paper in my head, because look, I'm barely adding any risk, right? I'm adding another $5 on what is $40. So what is that? That's all right. So it's another 12, not even 12%. It's 0.125% of the trade itself, of the loss itself that you're adding to it. That's not bad at all. To give yourself a much better probability of making it a winning trade. To me, the probabilities of that you're adding $5 risk only to possibly turn this into a green trade and make money. I feel like the probabilities of that happening on such a high probability setup in the first place is gonna very much outweigh doing it the way that I have to right now to obey my max loss. So, yeah. All right, let's catch up. So do you use max loss for everything, and how does that work as far as risk to reward? Yes, I use it for everything. So let's go into another example. Let's say we started it a little bit earlier because it got to 56, right? And say for some reason we were still looking for 25 cents from 647. Say we're hitting it on the move down here on this. So say we got in on this candle as it was coming down, got a bad fill right at the bottom of the candle, 647. And this thing just shot up from there, right? Well, at 747, we would get stopped out for a max loss, right? And we would have top ticked it, and that would have been a really bad trade. But you guys know that we would have never been in this trade. It doesn't really look like something we'd be in. Yes, Shin. So you'll see there's a lot of professional traders out there that if you follow them, you'll see some of them risk sometimes 1 to 20. Like they will risk 20 times the amount of what they're willing to actually make on the trade because they know the probability of it working is so high. So like they will enter, like say they entered this trade here and it's just a single entry trade. There's actually a perfect example of this today. Hold on. Give me one sec. Yeah, so take a look at this chart. Oops. Came up. There we go. So they started this trade and they ended up making $6,000, $6,200. You know, whether it's real or whatever, it doesn't matter. But they don't mind. This person specifically preaches this all the time. They don't mind having a very wide stop. So on this stop, you know, I don't know where it was, but as you can see, he was willing to let this go this far against him, only looking for this little bit of profit. Right? So if he made $6,200 on this move here, you can only imagine what he was down on this big spike and then having to wait and look at it come like right to his average and then bounce back up. Like the patience for something like this, because it was such a high probability trade, obviously would have been much better, you know, getting in up here. But he was so convinced at the overall trade itself that, you know, they're willing, like if you have the account, you have the risk management, you have, like, I know for a fact this guy has the oh shit button, and obviously it didn't get to that point. But when you're able to, you know, allow stops to be where they are, if that's your strategy, then you're good to go. But yeah, it is, for just to answer your question, I do use a max loss for everything. How does it work as far as risk to reward? My reward in most cases, if I get a single entry, I'm shooting for $10. So I'm looking for 25% of my max loss. But my daily quota every day is just 30. So I would only need 3 single entry winning trades to get to my quota, which is exactly what happened on Monday. I had 3 trades, or I had 4 trades actually, but one was only for 2 and the other 3 were for 10. So if I get an ad on any of mine, I usually go for 15 instead of 10. So I'm looking for more out of the trade. And if I get a backside ad or whatever, I'll even look for 20 instead of 10 and 15. So in reality, I can almost make quota on any given trade if I scale out after I get those ads in as well. We haven't really had a market where those have been possible. It's just not happening right now. And you guys know that I tend to top tick a lot of my entries. So I've been getting that $10 here and there. And that's also why, say I enter here and it goes up, comes back down and consolidates here. That's why you get a lot of those smaller losers too, because I end up getting out, right around break even because the trade didn't do what I wanted to do. I didn't get the ad up top and it didn't play out the way that I wanted to play out. When you get into a trade, if it's working, awesome. If it's not, it doesn't feel right, there's no shame in just getting out of the trade. Whether it's a small loser, a decent loser, break even, none of that matters. Even if it's a small winner and you were looking for a bigger winner, if the trade is not doing what you wanted it to do, just get out. It's one trade. I don't know how many times we have to say that over and over again. It's just one trade. We can sit here and dive deep in the G-Tech as much as you want, but in the end, this is just one trade. I already have 99 since September 27th. So we're trading a lot more now, which is good. I mean, if you guys remember when I first started my channel, it would take me 99 days to make 99 trades, but we're improving daily, right? You could go back and just see the progress. And that's all you can do each day is remember that all of those trades in the past, they were all just one trade, but they can teach you something valuable along the line, like along the way. So if you can take something from each trade and use it to better yourself for the next trade, that's awesome. But always remember, it's just one trade. One trade should not define you. Always remember that. All right, alrighty. Are we to 20 likes yet? Oh, we're at 15, or is it 16? Mine always seems to be one behind. All right, let me catch up. No, Tim, he will not remain president. Oh, I forgot I even said that. Too complex issue to discuss in comment section. But if the U.S. overthrows, use the wrong throw there, a legitimate election, the U.S. will lose most of its allies. Military will not allow that to occur. I know this is not a simple issue, but once the administration's legal challenges are dismissed, he will leave office one way or the other way. I agree. If the legal challenges do go through and are dismissed, or not go through and they are dismissed, he will have to leave, right? There was obviously nothing there. But there's all kinds, I'm not going to say proof, there's all kinds of allegations that are written affidavits out there of people saying they witnessed voter fraud. It's not just like one or two people. It's a lot of people. And that stuff's serious because even if you lie about that, or even if you think about, like if you even say it out loud that you want to do a written affidavit, like you're committing perjury if you're lying. And to actually go through with it, that's a felony. Like that's a hardcore felony. So, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them, and they're out there. You can go find them right now. That's what I was doing yesterday and earlier today. So, but I do agree with you that if the legal challenges, all these lawsuits and stuff that they're throwing out there, if those get dismissed before, I think it was January 4th or 5th or whatever the day is, then he has to leave, right? If they get it all settled by then. But if not, it will go to Congress. And is it the House? It's late. I'm going to get this confused. Politics is not my thing. I think it goes to the House where they vote. They then have the power to vote who will be the next president. And right now, it's over 30 Republicans, which obviously means there's less than 20 Democrats. So it's interesting. It's interesting to think about. Because basically how I read that is if Trump can keep the lawsuits and keep finding legitimate reasons for them to fight the election and figure out ways to go about it, then, and again, I'm not biased one way or the other. I just find this fascinating that this is even a thing. I didn't even, and apparently this has happened twice before, like back in the 1800s, where Congress ended up deciding who the next president was. And it's just fascinating to me that that could be happening. I mean, what better way to end 2020 than this? It's kind of crazy. And mainstream media, I'm not biased one way or the other. Like mainstream media, they are clearly biased, pretty much I'd say 90% of them, towards Biden, right? They're out there basically saying, there's no proof, there's none of this, Biden's the president, just get on with it, kind of thing. But if you dive a little deeper, there is all of this stuff happening behind the scenes that no one's really talking about on mainstream media because they don't want people to know that this is even a possibility. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Tinker the max loss? No. I'm to a point now where risk management, number one. I'm on a $30,000 account. Well, 29,888 right now because of the fees and commissions. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that you need risk management. If you can absolutely control yourself and only use a certain, actually, I see Thomas, I was reading as I was saying this, if you can use a small percentage of your account and grow it based off of only using a small percent of your account and always keep it that way. Now, say you never have to use more than 10% of your account. Think of how you can compound that and think of the mental stress that will never be needed because you're never using more than 10% of your account. Like imagine using a $30,000 account and only needing 3,000 of it. And then say you get up to a $40,000 account and then only needing 4,000 and then 50,000 and only needing 5,000. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And you're never stressed because you're never using or even coming close to using 10% of your account. And I'm talking 10% like for the actual positions, like the sizes. So like when I trade something like Tesla, if you take 10 shares of Tesla right now, it's $5,000. That's what I'm talking about. So it's crazy when you really think about it that way. But that's how you keep yourself safe. That's how you stay in the game. That's how you get screen time, your experience. That's how you learn how to do all of this and stay in the game. Become the 10%. Don't be the 90% that's like YOLO my account, Wall Street bet style, playing breakouts like idiots with your whole account, trying to turn $500 into $1 million. It's not going to happen to the normal person. There's going to be some outliers. There always is. There's going to be one or two people that end up making that work. And, they can sell their story and they usually do. But hey, it's not going to happen to probably 99% of people that try that. But 90% of traders fail because they don't take the proper precautions to stay in the game. This is all about staying in the game. You'll hear from almost any professional trader that's been doing this. It took them a good 3, sometimes to 6 years to really start to figure it out. And there's people, I was talking to Tom in the Discord just the other day. He's been following a guy who's been trading for over 25 years, and he had a major setback, an emotional trade where he hadn't lost in a really long time, and he let his emotions get to him, and he gave back a huge chunk of his overall account. And when you looked at the equity, actually here, let me just show you. Give me one sec to scroll up. Oh, that felt good. I'm starting to think he posted this in the general chat. Hold on. Let's see. From why is this not coming through? Is it really gonna make me scroll? Hold on. TM. Yeah, I spelled it right. Well, that's not cool. I'm trying to sit here and show you guys something, and it's not working. I don't remember how long ago it was either, so. Give me one sec. I'm gonna just scroll just for a little bit. I don't want to go back too far because I know it wasn't that long ago, so. It's a good lesson though, and it shows you that even if you're an experienced trader for 25 years, you can still have this happen. Was that it? Nope. Nope. Come on, come on, come on. Nope. Not gonna try much longer. I know it's a white chart, and I know what it looks like. Alright, last day that I'm scrolling through. I could have swore it wasn't this far back. Oh. Alright. I don't understand why the search feature isn't working. Usually it lets me search by name, but for some reason it's not letting me do that. Was that it? Nope. Alright, I give up. Let's try searching one more time. Why is it? Now it's not even letting me click there. Let's see, search. Now my Discord's like messed up. From, I mean, I typed that right? From, yeah, for some reason it's not, I don't know. I give up. Can I right click his name maybe? I'm like I really wanted to show you guys this. It looks like a cliff though, I'll tell you that. Let's see. Nope. Alright, I give up. Sorry. I know, that's why I was trying to search for his name, but I figured it would have went right to it, but it's not coming up. 22 viewers, guys. 2 more likes, and I'm gonna give away ISW for a week. Team ISW. So you get the ultra scans, you get to be in the chat rooms. Hit that like button while you're in here. There's 21 of you in here, so I know it's possible. We'll go ahead and do that to get out of here. I'm gonna close down around 10:30. I'm gonna go upstairs and watch a movie and all that good stuff. So okay, let me catch up on the trade while you guys hit that like button. If Article 12 happens, that would be cray-cray. Yeah, it will be. I think that was exactly where I ended. If you risk 2% of your account per day and 1% per trade, which you hardly hit a max per trade, you could then double down on that one trade and still be good on daily max loss. I mean, it's true. A lot of people will actually compound throughout the week too. They'll take, like say they win Monday, they'll take half of their winnings from Monday and they'll add that to their, say, max loss on Tuesday. So say I won that 30 bucks on Monday, I could take $15 and add it to 40, and so now it would be 55. So now I essentially can make more on Tuesday, and I'm kind of working with house money, but not really. You know, it's kind of like the martingale type thing, but you're using your winnings instead. The only bad thing with that is, say you get the Friday and you did that all the way to Friday, and then Friday you have a losing day and you kept compounding. It only takes one decent loser on Friday to wipe out the whole week. So I've always found that to be not a good way to trade. It's more, to me, that's almost like more gambling. You're trying to compound a little too quickly. You can compound, but you shouldn't compound that quickly. I feel like you're going to end up on the losing side of that too many times. At least that's how I would see it. So it's the idea that the trade is such a high probability that in the end the lower reward will pay off. Yeah, we talked about that. This is a bad trade. Don't justify a bad entry. He is lucky it worked. Yeah, Ruben, I don't disagree with you on the chart that I showed you, but he does that quite frequently. And most of the time his entries are not that bad. That was a bad entry. But he waited through the squeeze and hey, power to him. I'm pretty sure from watching him for a while now that if that would have went back to high of day, he would have cut that for a loss, and that would have been a really crappy day for him. But it didn't. It came back down. Excuse me. So it came down. All right, we need one more like, and then we'll do the giveaway. I won't wait till the end. Sooner or later, he is gonna be another GDT. Sorry, but that is harsh, unalterable reality unless you are a mega trust fund kid. You know, it's one of those things where it's hard because like GDT, he was just winning so constantly, right? Just winning and winning and winning. The problem with GDT is he didn't have that oh shit button, right? He didn't have the oh shit button. And you guys saw he got down some pretty hefty amounts throughout his trade sometimes, but it would come back, right? It would always work. And I think that was always in his head that if I just hang on, if I just hang in there, it's going to come back. It's not going to be as bad as it is right now. It's going to come back. But if that's your mentality, all it takes is one, right? All it takes is one. And what do I always say? Don't let one trade define you. You can't let one trade define you. It's not how you're going to succeed at this. Risk management is where you need to be. So with Chris, he has that oh shit button. He's talked about it. I just gave away who I was talking about. Well, I didn't give you the last name, but so I see the likes, by the way, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll do the giveaway here in a sec. But with Chris, he has the oh shit button. So every time he makes this work, when it was, say, close to the oh shit button, it ends up paying off, right? It ends up working. And he profits from that. So if he can do that enough times, like say his oh shit button in that scenario was $30,000, right? But he made $6,500. So if he makes $6,500 just 5 more times, and imagine he doesn't actually have to wait through what he did, right? Even get close to that oh shit number. And he makes all this money over and over and over again on high probability setups that actually end up working, and he gets past that $30,000 point. Now he basically has a free oh shit button, if that makes sense. As bad as that sounds, that's how a lot of these guys think. That's what a lot of these guys are thinking. That if I can just win enough, I'm basically playing with house money. That's how they're playing it. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm just letting you know that's what they're doing. And just to skip through in the chat real quick, what LA just said, that is exactly the danger, winning and winning and winning until the days you don't. You're one short squeeze away from the abyss. Ultimate line in the sand risk management is life or death. And that's what we're talking about, right? That ultimate line in the sand risk management is your oh shit button. And Thomas, on his montage, it literally says oh shit. So you have to have that amount. You have to, especially if you're just starting trading. You have to have an amount in your head that when you get to it, you have to take the position off. And right now, for me, per trade, that's $40. It's not a lot. It's not going to hurt my account even the slightest, but that's what it is as I grow this system and learn and become confident in it. So you have to have that button. You have to have that button. And it should be about I wouldn't ever risk more than 5% of your account, your equity, any given day. 5% is really pushing it. That's being aggressive to me. So think of the people that are risking 50% of their account any given day. Like, that's just stupid. It is. I'm just going to say it outright. It's stupid. You should never be risking that much. You should be risking 2% of your account. 50%? That's stupid. It's stupid. Go You should never be more than 5%. And that, to me, that's being aggressive. 5% is being aggressive. All right, let me go back up, make sure I didn't miss anything. You and me both have been thinking about my trading from 2 years ago. I've come a long way. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You go back and watch when I first started trading. Some of the trades I've taken might look the same, but the mentality and everything else behind the trades is just completely the confidence. Everything behind the trades is so different. And that comes with time. It comes with doing the same things over and over again, seeing it over and over again. Someone has Trump card, pun intended. That's Trump's Trump card right now. It is. Getting to that point is exactly what he's trying to do because he knows he would win. And I actually remember reading an article. Hold on a sec. There was an article of Pelosi, or an interview, not an article, an interview of Pelosi saying that they needed to either overwhelmingly win the election, like a landslide, so there was no close states to where this fraud, voter fraud was even a question, or they needed to win more seats in the House. They needed the Democrats to win the House because she knew that this could be a possibility. That was why she was saying that, because she knew that the election could come down to that. So it's just crazy. Like I said, I'm not biased one way or the other at this point. I'm just I'm amused. I'm actually just excited to see what happens. It's pretty cool. It's a way to just enjoy it, I guess. Enjoy the chaos. You're advancing alt-right talking points. Sorry, man, but that is the way I see it. Alt-right? Oh, dude, no, I'm not. Trust me. I'm literally just enthusiastic of how this all works. And it might come off that way because that's just what's happening. Like I haven't done anything but speak facts. Anything I say, you guys should know by now. I do my due diligence. I don't just spit conspiracy theories out there. What I say is actually truth. I might give my opinion after I've given that, but I try to stay away from my opinions when it comes to politics because I don't like talking about politics in the first place. But yeah, if it sounds like I'm coming off that way, trust me, I am not trying to at all. I'm sorry to be combative about the political stuff, but even Republican election officials are saying there was no significant fraud in this election. Hey, I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I'm just saying that if Trump can somehow get it to January 5th, I think that's the date, January 5th, then like that's his. I'm pretty sure if I had to guess, this is my opinion, if I had to guess, that's his game plan right now. And I cannot stand the progressive left. I'm definitely not hard left, more center right, if anything. I don't even know what any of that means. Like I get it, like hard left, hard right, center left, center, like I get it. Um, I don't really care. When it comes to me and voting, I like to try to do my due diligence and I try to vote for who I think is going to be better for me and my family. It's that simple. If Trump was the one that's going to do it, if Biden was the one that's going to do it, I'm going to vote for who I think is going to be the better choice for my family moving forward. That's it. I'm not, Democrat or Republican. I'm neither. I literally vote based off of the facts that I can find. And I do my own attempts to fact check stuff. Like if I see something that interests me and I think that this is a reason I would vote for them, I will go read into it. I will go look it up and I will try to find out if what they said is true or not. To me, it's that simple. So that's how I go about it. Unfortunately, that's not how everyone goes about it, but you can't ask for everything, I guess. It was with the last. Yeah, well, I know I couldn't find that chart. It's very annoying because in Discord usually you can search the user. You just put from : maybe it. Do I need to put the @ in there? Nope, that didn't work either. I don't know. It's really weird that it wouldn't come up. But let me look in our private message real quick. Let's see. Has link, has picture, image. Let's see if he posted it in here real quick. No, I don't think he did, because these are old pictures. Yeah. What if I just do that, and can I do has image in the general hangout? Has image. Okay, that works. Let me scroll through the images real quick. Page 1 of 216. We are not going through 216 pages. There's a lot of charts that we post. And then I'm going to do the giveaway, I promise. If you guys want to be in the giveaway, type VT in the chat. Doing 1 week of T-W, get the chat rooms, you get the ultra scans, get everything that you would get if you're part of the team for 1 whole week. All you got to do is type VT in the chat. And once I find this picture, we will go ahead and do that giveaway. I still had a couple messages to catch up on, but I can do that after I find this. Oh, found it. Okay, finally. So this is the guy that has been trading for 25 years. And this is his entire trading career in one chart. So this is from early in his trading career, and he says, remember this blunder? I guess he was talking to his students or whatever. Or actually, nope, this is only equity curve line from, this is only a month. Jeez. So the backstory to this, I was told wrong, but this was just a month. I didn't even see that until I'm looking at it now. But as you can see, throughout the month, he was having such a good month, and then it was one trade. Where look at what normally losing trades would do, and then that's one trade. I mean, granted, that actually isn't that bad now that I'm really looking at it. If that's only a month, I thought this was his whole career. So I guess it's really not that bad, but it's still pretty bad. You should, if you're only losing these little bits with risk management, and then I mean, if you take that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's almost like 8 times his normal loss. I mean, obviously he had a max loss in here, it looks like, and he just completely ignored it right here. So, and for some reason I thought that was his whole career. So I guess it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Excuse me. All right. Look at all those VTs. All right. Let me catch up one more time. You like that compounding, Thomas? Yeah. Sounds like new baseball positions. What was I talking about? If you're ever going to fade hard momentum moves, not trying to sound holy, just trying to survive forever. Oh, I plan on trying to catch more of these moves eventually. But at some point, we talk to Brian about this all the time. At some point, it does become like, how much are you making per hour? Because sometimes you'll get in these, right, after it's come all the way down to here, and then it just goes sideways the entire rest of the day. I mean, this is essentially sideways, and a lot of these do this, where they just go sideways. And sometimes they'll go all the way back to high day, and you end up stopping out wherever your stop is. Like if you have a trail or something. I feel very rare that you'll get ones that move up at the beginning of the day and they'll completely just go low of day and just fade the rest of the day. It's not that common. A lot of times you get this where it comes up, comes down, makes kind of a low range, and then goes sideways. This is pretty frequent. So it's like from here all the way to over here, which is 5 hours later, it's near the same price. So it's like at some point, would you rather be trying to do something else with your time? Granted, you can set a trail and just walk away. Or would you rather sit here at the computer and try to manage a trade that doesn't really do anything the rest of the day? You're looking for this thing to fade, and even here it tried and then ended up going back out and probably would have stopped you out and you wouldn't even ended up still being in this most likely, unless you had a really generous trail, which wouldn't really make too much sense. But anyways, Tom, what's up, man? Tarkov, WTF? I just got here. You guys are talking politics. Yeah, we weren't really trying to talk politics. That just kind of happened. I just found it intriguing what was happening with the election. That's all. If I was at home, I would do it. Do what? I'm always too far behind. I've made more comments tonight than ever before in my life. I'm not much of a you. I just bring. Apparently, politics is your soft spot, man. Apparently. Shit, I tried searching for by user. It wouldn't let me for some reason. I don't know. Welton, good evening. Just in time for the giveaway. All right. YouTube person, but this election has got me on edge for my country. F trading, I will always be able to trade. Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. All right, let me pull up my cool spinner. Random generator wheel with names. Yeah, there it is. The wheel of names. I need to just bookmark this. Let's put it right there, since we use it every week. Alrighty. We only had 3 participants last week. What is going on? Why can't I? It's not letting me click. Oh. There we go. Alright. We got Shin. Gold Star. This is going to be a good one. Gonna have all kinds of names. I love it. Tell your friends to come. We're gonna be doing this every week. If we can get at least 20 people in here, at some point, if it becomes too easy to get 20 people, we might end up. You know you can't be in there, Graham Stefan. We're gonna start maybe upping it to like 30. Like I said, it'll probably be a while before that happens. But all right, we got Welton. Let me spell his name right. Ruben. Tom wants in, eh? All right, eh? Tom's Canadian. Kavan. Is it Kavan or Kavan? I'm gonna go with Kavan. I think Kavan sounds about right. Kingdom. I like how you guys come out of the woodworks. I appreciate you guys being here. I seriously do. Bish. Call me a Bish. Juan. Welcome. Most of you are probably already here, but look at this wheel. I love it. Let's go. All right, we all need the chill. Full disclosure, I lost several hundred today on DAL. A little slow getting out, but still profitable for the week. There you go. You're still profitable, right? That's all that matters. Got to move forward. Is that why you're a little salty about the election thing? No, I'm gonna play into it a little bit. I'm gonna try to get you all hyped up. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that to you. All right. Anybody? Any last? This actually ended up being at 10:30. I'm sorry. That took a lot longer to find that other stuff, so I'm sorry. But hey, at least we're getting this done. Anybody else want into the giveaway? Again, this is for 1 week of Team ISW. You get to be in the chat rooms with us. You get the live feed. Me, David, Brian, Kevin Avery when he's in there. You get GDT actually just stopped by the other day. Quick update on GDT. He said he's doing fine. You guys know publicly that he announced he was going through a divorce. He withdrew everything to take care of that. He also had to buy a new house. He, ended up moving out. So a lot going on there, but he said he's getting his bearings back on track, and he's hoping to be back sooner rather than later. So little update there on GDT. And yeah, so what is this you're doing? Momo, it's a free week of the ISW scanners. You get the ultra scans, you get the 2 chat rooms, get everything that you would get if you were part of the team, and you get it for a whole week. It's about, I think we kept doing the math, it's like $60, $70 worth of value, and we've been giving it away every week to you guys. So show up every Friday night. We're most likely going to be doing this. All you got to do is be here, hit that like button, and just show your support. And yeah. Actually take me off for today because I trade only futures at the moment. Oh, Welton, that was nice of you, man. I appreciate that. Being honest. Could have took it and gave it away or something like that, but appreciate you being honest. Uh-oh. All right, let's get one last little LA thing in here. Momo Scalper, you want in? All right, there we go. Trade spots there. I saw about the election because I don't want an F and wannabe autocrat gangster. Yeah, no, I feel you, man. It's so thrown up in the air, and it's so funny how different both of them are, and I think that's a lot of why people feel the way they do. But anyway, again, we're done with that. We're gonna get on to this. Good luck to everybody. We're gonna hit that button here in 5, 4. Oh, hold on. Let me turn the sounds on. Yeah, there we go. The sounds are pretty cool. It does a little and then it cheers for you and everything. All right, ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Here we go. Good luck to everybody. The winner is Kavan. Congrats, man. I think it's going to stop. There it is. All right, man. All you got to do, join the Discord. Speaking of which, guys, I'm updating the Discord. It's going to have a new look to it. I'm going to be working on that over the weekend as well. And I'm going to really start kind of pushing that. I want you guys to get in there. I want you guys to spark up the conversations that could possibly lead into the Friday night live streams as well. We post our charts in there. We talk. We actually, me, Devin, Thomas, we're all on the mic, on the hot mic every morning. We're talking about trading, just talking about our trades, talking about what we see, what we're looking at. We kind of help each other out, keep each other responsible, accountable, hold each other accountable, I should say. And yeah, so Kavan, all you got to do, find the Discord link. It's down in the description below. Come in there, private message me, and we'll get you hooked up for that week of the Team ISW for next week. For now, that's all I have. Hold on. One stupid trade I made put me down 25% of my account. Juan, I am sorry to hear that, my man. Join the Discord. Feel free to message me. We can talk about that, but I am going to get out of here for now. I appreciate y'all stopping by. If you do have any additional questions or comments, feel free to find me in the Discord. Hit me up on Twitter. You can leave them on any comments on YouTube. You guys know I answer them all. And have a great weekend, guys. Go enjoy the cold weather. I know I'm not going to. All right, I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.